Hi crafters, welcome to Creative Moments by G. I'm G and so happy that you're with us today. We are going to create a super easy fun fold that Monty and I just know you're going to love. But now also what makes this special is this is a 5-minute card and you're going to see, can she do it, can she not? Now I've not tried this, so we're going to keep our fingers crossed. But let's head down to the crafting table and let me show you this card. Okay, look at this card. Look at how pretty this is. We'll discuss it a little bit later, but I just wanted you to see what we're going to be creating. Let me set up the design table. We are all set up and ready to go. So let's see if G can meet this challenge. Now we're going to do it in 3 steps. So let's get busy. The first step is create your base card. Now this is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, but we're gonna make one additional score line. So grab your trimmer and go ahead and score it at 1 1/4. Make sure you move your cutting blade out of the way. Now we have this scored and we're just going to take this and fold it back. Bring in your bone folder and give it a good crease, just like that. Now let's put this to the side and let's go ahead and grab our paper. Now we need a couple sheets, a couple strips of designer series paper, patterned paper, whatever you have. And we need 2 that are going to be 5 1/4. So we have this at 5 1/4 and we're going to cut them at 1. So this is going to be one of our strips. Now we need a coordinating color, 5 1/4. We need to cut it at 1. We will also need a strip of patterned paper for this area right here. Now on that one, I'm going to go ahead and cut this at 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. We also need to cut a strip of paper for the inside, and that is going to be cut at 2 3/4. Oh, that's not quite big enough. Let's see, 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. So now we have all our pieces. The next thing I want to do is I want to emboss these 2 strips. Now we're moving into step 2. So bring in your embosser. Bring in your embossing folder and we're going to add these 2 right here. Let's just get them added to our folder and run them through our embossing machine. And we're using the mini machine. So let's just go ahead and get that embossed. And now we are ready to add these to our card. So that's step 3. Let's put this card together. Go ahead and add some glue and get this tab glued down to the card. So we're just going to do that, just like that. And now we're going to add our strips. So we have 1 strip of patterned paper that goes right there. See how easy this card is to create? Now we will jazz it up just to show you that it can be jazzed up. And the reason we embossed this was to just give it some interest. Look at that. Really gives it some additional interest. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we need to put our other little strip right here. So really, you're going to use your scraps that you have to create this card. And it is so cute. Now we're going to take this for the inside. Just get that laid down. Oh, we have a minute left. Oh my goodness. I'm getting a little nervous. Okay, let's get that right where it needs to be. Now, I went ahead and I stamped my sentiment I could stamp it again, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to raise that up on some dimensionals just to give it more interest. I like to have things raised. And then we're going to take off the backing. Oh my goodness, 33 seconds. Okay, now we're going to add this to the front of our card just like that. Just going to put a little bit of glue. Add it to the middle, centering it. And then we're just going to stamp a little message on the inside. Have a lovely day. And there we have it. I made it. Oh my goodness, we're just going to straighten this out just a little bit. Okay, let's talk about this card that we just made in 3 easy steps. And believe you me, that was some pressure to get this done. Okay, let's go in a little closer. Look at that. So pretty. And, you know, really embossing these 2 strips just, I think, added to the beauty of this card. You can see that it is so easy. Now, I did have someone ask me, because this is Technique Tuesday, and by the way, welcome. Why do I put my sentiments at the bottom? The reason I do that is I like to write the entire mat that I have for my writing. I don't like going around the sentiment. That's just a preference on my part. But just a little tip, just in case you're like me. You still have plenty of room to write your, love G or have a great day. You can still do that. But I just like to put mine at the bottom, just a preference. Now, let's look at this very quickly. You could leave it just like this. I think that's very pretty. But what if we jazzed it up just a little bit? So what I did is I went ahead and I cut out some of the ducks in this adorable patterned paper that's called Lily Pond. You may have it, you may not. But I used the die and I cut these cattails out. So what if we put just like a little duck there? What if I went ahead and I put this right here just to give that some interest? Wouldn't that look cute? So let's go ahead and just add a little glue here. Now, stay with us because we are going to make another card and we're not going to put it on a timer, so it's not going to be quite so stressful for me. So, there we have that. And what if I added a little duckling right next to the mama? And we put that right there. So let's just go ahead and lay this down with some glue. And this is just to jazz it up a little bit. But you saw that you really didn't have to do that. It was quite pretty. So we're just going to, he's looking up. And there we have it. What do you think about this card? Do you like it jazzed up, or would you leave it, just leave it with the sentiment right across the top? Just like that. So let's go ahead and create one more of these super easy cards. Now this time I'm using Flowers of Beauty because I love these flowers because it's a 2-step process. You don't have to blend, you don't have to color, you just stamp it and you have a beautiful flower. In fact, look at this flower. Now I used Berry Burst both times. I stamped off and then I did a 2nd generation stamp for this lighter color, and then I did full strength for the outline of the flower. So I think that's quite pretty. Now you're going to take your 8.5 by 5.5. You're going to score it at 4 1/4, but this time we're going to create a landscape card. So while the other one we did just like this on this card, we're going to turn it landscape. And we are going to, in step one, we're creating our card. We are folding that down and just allowing that to glue down. Now, we have already cut our beautiful patterned paper, and look at that. That just matches perfectly with this Coastal Cabana color. It just coordinates so nicely. And this paper is from Unbounded Beauty. It has so many beautiful designs with it. So, I would give you another tip. Make sure that when you're either doing the portrait or the landscape card that you pay attention to your patterned paper. Is it directional? And this is directional. So we had to cut it that way so that it would look pretty once it's laid down on the card. So let's just lay this down. We're not embossing this one. We're just laying it down, making sure that we have the same border all the way around. Then we are going to add our strip right here. Making sure that our borders are about the same, and you can see that they are. And now look what we did. We got a berry burst piece of cardstock, just a scrap that we found in our box, and we embossed it just for that added interest, right? Now we're going to add that right to the middle, and that really brings out the berry burst right here, don't you think? Just going to add this with some glue. Okay, and so now we have our card just like this. It's a landscape card. I went ahead and I stamped that same message because I just love it. I love the font that changes on the word absolutely. Oh my goodness, it is so pretty. So we're going to put this right down here, and I'm just going to add it on some dimensionals just to give it some added height. Just going to put it right in the center. Look at that. And now we stamped our flowers, and we have 3 flowers that we're going to put up on dimensionals. And we're just going to add them right here on this row. Because I'm going to put some leaves behind them, I'm just going to put a dimensional right in the center of these flowers. And we like to use all of our dimensionals, so we don't just use the little octagon ones, we use the side strips as well. No waste, right? Okay. And we are just going to add these. I'm going to add the 2 end ones first because I'm going to get them placed exactly where I want them, and then I can come back in and place the middle one. And that way I know they're evenly spaced. So just a little tip, when you're placing images, go ahead and do your left and your right and then build in the middle. The next thing is I used that stamp set and the dies, and I cut out this beautiful paper, this coordinating paper that really brought in this darker color right here. So I'm just going to put some leaves right in the center, right underneath our flowers. Now we just need to lay down the center part right here. And look at our landscape card. Look at how pretty that is. So easy to create. Here are our 2 cards that we created today. What do you think? Take a moment and let us know which is your favorite. Do you like this jazzed up version? Or did you like the plain version with just the sentiment? Do you like our flowers better? What do you think about this design? How easy it is. Now, you could have cut that 1 1/4 strip off this front panel, but folding it back really gives it some stability and just really adds to the weight of it. It just feels more luxurious. Now, remember I said we were going to talk about this card just a little bit more. Look at this one. We added a shadow behind the hello. And we also embossed that area. We also cut out flowers so that we didn't have to blend and color. We just used our pattern paper and cut out some of the flowers. And finally, look at this one. We had to bring back in our circles because we just love putting sentiments on circles. We cut out a flower from the patterned paper. Here we have our patterned paper. Here we have our embossed cardstock that coordinates with these colors beautifully. We added a flower on the inside, once again cutting it out from our patterned paper. What do you think about these easy cards? Really, truly, this is a 5-minute card. Well, we hope you enjoyed this 5-minute card. You can see that it's so easy to create. Uses your scrap paper that you have, uses your pattern paper that you have. So it really hits all the check marks that we look for a card. We want it to be easy. We want it to use our scraps. So Maudie and I hope you were inspired by it. And if you were, take a moment, share our channel with your crafting friends and give us a like. Well, go out and have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.